Logic and assembly programming class. Um, Within this data section here, we're telling the user to enter a value between 0 and 100, and we are also letting the user know that if they enter -1, it'll stop the program. This is just a new line, and then this is letting the user know that they entered an invalid input, and also letting them know to please enter a value between 0 and 100. And then as we move to our main function, we are just initializing variables. So we are initializing the loop counter to 0. We are initializing the sum to equal 0. And we are initializing the count to equal 0 as well. And then as we begin to move to this beginning loop, we are loading the immediate value of 4 into this register here. And then we are also loading the address of prompt. We are loading the address of prompt into this register here as well. And we are making a system call to print the prompt as well. And then as we move into the read input, we are just loading the immediate value of 5 into this register, performing a system call, and then moving the input value from this register to be stored into this register. And then we're checking if the input is a sentinel value. So we're checking if the input is -1, which would stop the program. And here we check if the user's input is valid. So this is branching to invalid input if the input value is less than or equal to 0. If the input value is less than or equal to 0, branch to invalid input if input value is greater than 100, and then add the input to sum and increment the count. So here we're adding the input value to the sum, and then we increment the count, and then we jump back to the loop to continue. So as we move to our end loop, where we begin with calculating the average, within this first section right here, we're branching to no valid inputs if the count is 0 to avoid division by 0. And then we will divide sum by count, and we will move the results from this register to this register. And as we move down, this is just printing the average. So we're loading, in this line, we're loading the immediate value of 1 into this register, and then we are moving the average value to this register here. We're moving the average value to this register here, and then we're gonna perform a system call, and then we will jump to end program to exit. And right here in our invalid input here, we're just printing the invalid input message. So in this line, we're loading the immediate value of 4. We're loading the value of 4 into this register here, and we are going to load the address of invalid message into this register here. Then we'll perform a system call, and then we'll jump back to the loop to continue. And then this is just printing the message for no valid inputs. So we're in this line right here, we're going to load the immediate value of 4 into this register, and then we'll load the address of new line into this register, perform a system call to print new line, and then we'll move down to this end program where we load the immediate value 10 into this register here, and then we perform a system call to exit the program. Now, just to show our program, we're gonna hit save, and then we're gonna hit the assemble, and then we are going to run this program. You can already see some of the inputs that I have up here. But yeah, we're going to enter a value. Let's start with 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So if this runs correctly, we should get back an output of 5, which is what we get. Now, let's run this again so we can show the invalid input. Let's do 5, 10, 11, 15, 20, and 200. So we get invalid input. Please enter a value between 0 and 100. And now, so we already have 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We already have 5 inputs, so I'll just stop the program right here. And we get an average of 12. So yeah, that's all there is to this program. Yeah, that's it.